The shape data parameters options will allow us to define a couple more visual things about the trend graph and also some functional things. So let's take a look at a couple of them. I'll take my trend group graph from earlier and I'll put it in a new page. So now let's say I actually want to see my groups that I have available other than the one I just loaded in. I can just add parameters options shape data here. So remember from the no wildcard option we had earlier, we're going to reuse this shape data and set the value to true. If you want to define multiple options, you separate them with a pipe. And I want to also see, in this case, the legend. We'll set show legend to true as well. Save the whole thing. We now take a look at the cube on our new page. We can see that on the left we have a panel with our different trend groups, and at the bottom we have a panel with our trend legend. So all of the colors as well as the trace values from our mouse hover, current value of our parameters, and ways to add more parameters, save new trend groups and things like that. We're losing kind of a lot of screen estate right now, so I initially actually want to see most of my trend graph. So I can add, for instance, an option to collapse my legend as well. So I add the option collapse legend, and then a colon again, and then true. And what happens now is I get a lot more estate for my trend graph, and I have my legend still available here at the bottom with some trace info in the header, and I can open it up manually to get what I had earlier. So those are some visual options that you have. Another option that we can add is one to actually change the range of our trend graph that we see initially. Normally, if you open a trend graph, you see the last 24 hours like you do here, and of course some prediction. But with Visio we can adjust this so that initially we, for instance, see the entire last year. So if I save this, take a look at the trend graph. Of course it needs to do some preloading. It's fetching all of the trend data for all three of our parameters for the last year. So that may take a while, but eventually you'll see that we're going back to January, or I mean the 1st of August last year, and even a bit further than that. So those are a couple of parameters options you have. You can find more of these in the data miner help, of course, where we took a look earlier for the parameters themselves.